Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, a Quinnipiac professor is making strides in Boston.
While public safety gears up for a very eventful weekend.
The news starts now.
Live from the Ed McMahon Center, this is the Q30 News Nightcast.
Good afternoon, Quinnipiac, and welcome to the Q30 Newscast. I'm Taylor Popielarz.
And I'm Michele Herman. If you ask a group of Quinnipiac students what this coming weekend is, chances are they'll have an answer for you.
But is May weekend recognized by university officials? I sat down with the Chief of Public Safety earlier today to find out. It has been 7 years since the Quinnipiac community officially celebrated May weekend.
There were actually two different weekends. There was the official May weekend, which was a great deal of programming done by the Office of Student Life, and then there was the quote-unquote unofficial May weekend.
After a series of arrests and even a few student deaths, officials at Quinnipiac decided to cancel May weekend. Associate Vice President for Public Relations John Morgan explained in an email to Q30 that the university discontinued May weekend in 2007 because it had become inconsistent with the university's core values of providing high-quality academic programs, a student-focused environment, and a strong sense of community. Though the university no longer recognizes it, many students do, and come the last weekend of April, you're bound to find a bunch of students out here on the quad and throughout campus enjoying what they hope will be some sunshine. But according to them, they're just having fun.
For me, May weekend is a weekend where students kind of relax and kind of socialize more so than other weekends.
But what many students are curious about is why Public Safety and the Department of Residential Life staffed the last weekend in April with a much higher amount of officers and RAs than any other weekend.
I feel as though they should know that it's there, but tread lightly and, kind of make sure that they do have a presence, but not enough to the point where it's kind of controlling.
According to a statement from the Director of Residential Life, Jennifer Crane, this weekend there are more staff, public safety, and student health services to be proactive in keeping communities safe. Public Safety Chief David Barger says his team needs to act cautiously no matter what.
We can't be underprepared for some students trying to live up to that urban legend.
But some students say they just want to be allowed to enjoy themselves.
I think that they should just realize that it's a weekend that students have fun.
Taylor Popielarz, Q30 News. A Quinnipiac assistant professor of biomedical sciences who ran in last year's Boston Marathon returned to run in this year's race to help reclaim the pride of the event. Jeffrey Martin had just crossed the finish line last year on April 15th when the first bomb went off behind him. While he was fortunately unharmed by the explosion, Martin spent the next 2 hours frantically trying to get in touch with his pregnant wife and parents, who were stationed near mile 17 of the race to root him on. They ended up being okay and were reunited shortly after. Martin was going to retire from marathon racing last year, but after surviving the bombings, he decided to run in this year's race to further his healing process. And this past Thursday, Quinnipiac hosted an Earth Farmers Market on the Quad. The market featured items for sale from local vendors, bakeries, and food trucks. Students and professional artists also held a sustainable fashion show, modeling dresses made of newspaper and other recyclable material. Students could buy raffle tickets, get henna tattoos, and take home free flowers and fruit.
TED is coming to Quinnipiac. No, not the bear for the movie, but TED Talks, which were made famous by industry leaders like Bill Gates. TED is a nonprofit organization devoted to ideas worth spreading. The idea is to gather students and faculty who want to discuss new and innovative ideas. The theme for this year's TEDx program, From Present to Future, which hopes to draw inspiration from the present to help shape the future. The event will take place on Sunday, April 27th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Buckman Theater. Tickets are still available at tedxquinnipiacu.com. And Quinnipiac is making strides in the fight against cancer. This year's Relay for Life has raised over $80,000. Relay for Life is a community walk that raises money for the American Cancer Society. Quinnipiac's event was held from April 11th to 12th at TD Bank Sports Center. More than 70 teams and 1,000 participants attended the event. The first place team, Fighters for Tomorrow, raised more than $40,000. The money goes towards cancer research.
Now, having fun at college without alcohol seems to be a thing of the past in many people's minds.
As our very own News Team 30 reporter Sean Clasby shows us, it is possible for Quinnipiac students to have sober fun.
There is a large, culture here on campus where students feel as though that's something that sometimes is expected of them.
Loud music, parties, and alcohol have become commonplace here at Quinnipiac on weekends. According to recent statistics from PRNewsWire.com, Quinnipiac ranks as the 42nd biggest party school in the United States. Of the students we talked to, many indirectly agreed with this statistic because parties provide an opportunity for students to relax and socialize.
It's more of a social aspect to it instead of just, drinking, just to do it with your friends.
Other students also believe the weather is affecting how much alcohol is consumed at these student-led social hours.
The weather's nice, might as well be outside, so it's more things to do when the weather's nice.
At night, there appears to only be one option. Students tend to leave the Mount Carmel campus to avoid the university's underage drinking policy. Some of the popular off-campus hangouts are Toad's Place, Andale's, and Odie's.
For the majority of campus, drinking and going to Toad's is a big part of it.
The majority of students Q30 News talk to through alcohol and college weekends go hand in hand. But according to Student Programming Board President Robert Grant, that doesn't have to be the case.
We have events every Friday and Saturday night from 8 to 10, and I know Q After Dark also has some events from 10 to 12. So there's always something going on every Friday and Saturday nights. There's also things that we do during the weekday.
Yet, they often do not yield a large turnout. However, the board does not define a successful night by how many students show up.
If they left the event having a good time, then that's what matters, not so much how many people are at the event.
It is believed that if more students knew about the events, then more would come out. At Quinnipiac University, Sean Clasby, Q30 News.
Still to come on the Q30 Newscast, a 15-year-old defies the odds on a flight bound for Hawaii.
And Patrick Gartrelle is here to give us an update about a new event that is happening this coming week.
Stay with us.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
The Bobcat Shop, located at 1010 Sherman Avenue in Hamden. Your #1 choice for Bobcat merchandise. The Bobcat Shop features 2 floors of countless styles and colors. With a full 19,000 square foot screen printing and embroidery operation on the premises, Campus Customs and Simplify can design and decorate any garment or promotional product as quickly as needed. Stop in and say hi.
Welcome back. So we are sitting here with Patrick Gartrelle, who is a brother of the Delta Upsilon fraternity here on campus. And as you can see, he's brought some props with him. Patrick, what are you here for?
I'm here to represent the One Goal event happening on April 30th.
Okay, and what is the event?
We're hosting pickup soccer games. All benefits go to GSI, which is the Global Service Initiative. It's the philanthropy of Delta Upsilon. We have a hashtag on Twitter, QU1Goal, which has everything up to date about the event.
Awesome.
Can you tell me where the proceeds would go for the philanthropy event?
Right. So GSI, like I said, is Global Service Initiative. We have 3 locations in New Orleans, Washington, D.C., and Negril, Jamaica. And we help rebuild schools that the federal government can't upkeep. All the money nationwide is donated to those 3 locations, and brothers actually go abroad or to D.C. or New Orleans and do the work themselves.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And what gave you and your brothers the idea to start this One Goal event?
Actually, we were going to think about doing a co-sponsorship. It fell through, but the brothers really liked the idea of doing soccer, and I said, why not? So even if it was going to be something very small, we wanted something that was going to continue throughout the following years here, and it seemed like this wasn't a sport being done already, and we were ready to jump into it.
Have any brothers had the chance to go on any trips or going to any trips anytime soon?
Yeah, absolutely. 3 of our brothers actually went last year. Steve went to Jamaica at one point, and he said he had an amazing time. He said it really touched his heart seeing all the kids at the school physically, and it's different than just fundraising and actually going, and he said he wants all of us to go at one point.
Wow, that's amazing. And so what is the actual event? Yes, it includes soccer, but what will it entail?
We'll have a Jamaican-inspired barbecue. It's actually on the athletic fields, right next to the rec center. Yeah.
Barbecue sounds good to me.
Sounds real tasty. There'll be music from WQAQ, which is co-sponsoring, and the Q Barnacle will be there writing funny articles. interviewing some of the people coming. It's absolutely free for everyone to come, and it's actually by donation. So if you can spare 30 cents, $5, we'll take it all.
Awesome. And lastly, when is the event?
April 30th.
Out on the athletic fields.
On the athletic fields from 12 p.m. to 6.
Well, thank you, Patrick, and best of luck.
Thank you so much.
We got to sign his soccer ball, so we're
Which
very
is being
excited.
donated to where?
Montego Bay, Jamaica.
Very cool.
So one of the trips. Someone will get it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Well, speaking of Jamaica, the spring weather is finally appearing here.
Finally.
We're not at Jamaican weathers yet, but we're here, 50s, 60s, sometimes a 70.
Yeah.
It's feeling good. And I think we're going to toss it over now to Sami Moore.
Sounds good to me.
For the forecast.
Thanks, guys. Good afternoon, Quinnipiac. I'm Sami Moore here to give you this week's weather report. Stick with me right now and we'll see if we'll be tanning out on the quad this weekend. First, if we look over to New York, it is 55 degrees, and all the way over in California, it's only not even 10 degrees warmer with 63. Maybe that 82-degree weather in Florida can move its way on up. But now let's look at the local temperatures in Connecticut. All the temperatures seem to be in the 50s, with Waterbury being in 51, Norwich 54, and Hartford at 51. Now, if we look at the radar, that rain that we had this morning and the rain that we had last night is slowly moving out. So pack up your rain gear, Quinnipiac, because you won't be needing it anytime soon. But now let's look at tonight's weather. When you're leaving the library tonight, it's going to be 36 degrees and clear with winds northwest at 18 miles per hour. Then tomorrow, it'll be 60 degrees and windy due to the winds moving northwest at 23 miles per hour. It will seem a little bit chilly, so you might not need that north face, but you definitely will need a nice little jacket. And then for the weekly forecast, yes, Quinnipiac, you will be able to be outside on this lovely weekend. It may be a little bit cloudy, but it still will be 61, 63, and 60 degrees. You will need that umbrella next week when it comes to Tuesday and Wednesday. Thank you. I'm Sami Moore. Now back to the desk.
Thank you, Sami. The 15-year-old boy who survived a flight from California to Hawaii in a plane's wheel well is now resting in a hospital in Honolulu, and authorities are trying to figure out how the boy got there and how he was able to survive the trip. The plane was headed from California San Jose International Airport to Honolulu, and the boy's reasoning is that he wanted to go see his mother, who lives in Somalia.
Video shows the teen hopping the fence at the San Jose airport, walking across the tarmac and getting into the wheel well. An airport spokesperson in San Jose says that they all exceed the security requirements and have an excellent track record. The TSA is assisting in the airport in its investigation.
It's such a surreal story.
Such a surreal.
I was listening to a report, and they said that when the plane was up at its highest, around 30,000 feet, the temperatures were like -40 or 50.
I don't get it. How he survived.
There was little oxygen, and it's just I don't even get it. That must be terrifying.
I know. I can't even imagine what that would be like. And they said that the weather hit -50 and that he was losing oxygen and passing out all the time. How did a person possibly do that?
I have no clue. But the crazy thing is that there are other things happening in the world beyond people hiding in wheel wells. So we're going to toss it over now to Tessa McKinley, who has our world news.
Thanks, guys. This week in Saudi Arabia, officials have seen an increase in the deadly MERS coronavirus, called MERS-CoV for short. It comes from the same group as the common cold and attacks the respiratory system. All the cases so far have been linked to travelers of the Arabian Peninsula, and the World Health Organization warns those travelers to look out for symptoms like fever, cough, shortness of breath, or breathing difficulties. MERS was first detected in Saudi Arabia in 2012, and other cases have been reported across the Middle East, Europe, and as far as Malaysia. As of now, more than 250 cases have been reported worldwide, including more than 90 deaths. In the past month, there has been a 20% spike in the total number of cases. Authorities say they are monitoring the situation, and there's no reason for panic. A real-life Spider-Man, French climber Elaine Robert, isn't panicking about his climb today of a 500-foot tall Galaxy Hotel in Macau, China. Although Robert does admit there are challenges because the building is built of smooth glass, with nothing to hold on to. He says he will be using suction cups to help him along. Known as the French Spider-Man, Robert is famous for scaling the world's tallest skyscrapers with nothing but a small bag of chalk and his climbing shoes. The 51-year-old has climbed more than 70 skyscrapers around the globe and says he hopes he can at least climb till he is 60. Since the tragic South Korean ferry capsized last week, we have only seen more deaths. Divers have pulled at least 159 bodies from the submerged vessel, while 143 passengers remain missing. The search for survivors in these waters is dangerous and challenging, causing divers to first swim down more than 100 feet, following guide ropes to reach the ship. The rescue team is focusing their search inside the lounge, where their cabins and where they believe the students are located. So far, 11 crew members have been arrested, including these 4 who appeared in court on Tuesday. The captain, who continues to defend his actions, could face life in prison if convicted of the charges against him. That's all for this week. This has been Tessa McKinley for Q30 News.
Thank you, Tessa. Now, still ahead on the Q30 Newscast, we'll bring you the latest in entertainment news.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
The Bobcat Shop, located at 1010 Sherman Avenue in Hamden. Your #1 choice for Bobcat merchandise. The Bobcat Shop features 2 floors of countless styles and colors. With a full 19,000 square foot screen printing and embroidery operation on the premises, Campus Customs and Simplify can design and decorate any garment or promotional product as quickly as needed. Stop in and say hi.
Welcome back. Now, students around Quinnipiac are saying, "Kiss my asana," and no, I did not say that wrong. They are committing to yoga every day to the month of April.
Here's Q30's own Nicole Siberry on how the university is raising money and awareness through yoga.
To those who practice, yoga is much more than exercise.
Yoga is like my only stress relief. I was a dancer in high school, and when I came to college, I just needed something to keep continuing my body moving, and I found yoga.
Many other students at Quinnipiac have also found yoga and are partaking in this month's yogathon called Kiss My Asana, a program based off of Mind Body Solutions founder Matthew Sanford.
So I tend to follow Matthew Sanford. He's one of the yogis that I admire most. We had him come to campus a couple years ago, and he really does preach yoga for everybody. And what that means is oftentimes yoga isn't seen as accessible physically for a lot of people, so his yoga is known as adaptive yoga. So he really gives people tools to be able to make yoga work for everyone.
For $30, you and a partner could partake in this challenge, but for Tammy Riley, it wasn't about the money.
Our goal was not so much how much money can we raise. Our goal was, that's the spirit and the intention, so we definitely want to send something, but it was deeper than that. It was actually like on another level trying to achieve this, same feeling that they were doing in Minnesota at Mind Body Solutions trying to raise money. We were just trying to create our own community awareness for that here.
And it wasn't just community awareness that was brought to Quinnipiac.
It's a way to bring people together to work for this common goal to raise money for this awesome program, and it's just also a fun way to get to know people. I've seen so many friendships actually form on campus with it, and you see people stop dropping and doing yoga.
The goal of this program isn't just to raise money, but to make yoga accessible for everyone. Nicole Siberry, Q30 News.
I wish I could do yoga.
I couldn't if I tried.
I've never done it. But a lot of people from Hollywood do yoga. It seems it's one of those like West Coast calming trends. But there's a lot of news buzzing around out in Hollywood and the entertainment world. Something with Drew Barrymore, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. We'll take it to Shayna and Liv, and they'll tell us more.
Well, it's another girl for Drew Barrymore. The actress and husband Will Kopelman welcomed Frankie Barrymore Kopelman on Tuesday, the second child for the couple. She is proud mother of another daughter, Olive, who was born in September 2012. Unlike her first pregnancy that was kept under wraps, Barrymore announced her second pregnancy back in December. In her pregnancy announcement, she said, quote, "Olive has a new little sister and everyone is healthy and happy," unquote.
And it looks like we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to find out about Chris Brown's alleged assault. It was announced Monday that the Washington, D.C. trial has been postponed. The judge says he wants to give the lawyers time to sort out issues over the testimonies.
Both Brown and his bodyguard, Christopher Hollisey, were involved in an assault in D.C. last year. Hollisey was convicted Monday morning. Now prosecutors are considering giving Hollisey immunity so that he can testify in Brown's trial.
And on the 2-hour season finale of her reality show Sunday, Lindsay Lohan revealed she had a miscarriage. According to People magazine, the miscarriage happened during a break in the filming of her reality show. The actress didn't elaborate too much on personal details, but says there were times she didn't want to film because she couldn't move. After all that has happened, Lohan says she is excited to be shooting a new movie in June, and the biggest thing she learned from her reality show is how to have a much better work ethic. And that's all we have for your entertainment report. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, girls. Still to come, Quinnipiac Athletics is being honored with a very special award.
And we'll bring you the latest sports update from around campus.
Stay with us.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
The Bobcat Shop, located at 1010 Sherman Avenue in Hamden. Your #1 choice for Bobcat merchandise. The Bobcat Shop features 2 floors of countless styles and colors. With a full 19,000 square foot screen printing and embroidery operation on the premises, Campus Customs and Simplify can design and decorate any garment or promotional product as quickly as needed. Stop in and say hi.
Welcome back. Quinnipiac University is being honored with the 2014 Bring It Home Award. The award, which is being presented at the Connecticut Convention and Sports Bureau, will be presented on Thursday, April 24th. The honor will be given to 6 organizations that helped make Connecticut an event hotspot.
Quinnipiac is receiving the award for hosting the 2014 NCAA Women's Ice Hockey Frozen Four at TD Bank Sports Center from March 21st to the 23rd. Athletic Director Jack McDonald will be accepting the award and says he is humbled by this honor and is looking forward to bringing home more awards.
I think that's great. Just another accolade to put Quinnipiac on the map. And there's been a lot of sports news happening for the spring sports teams here.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to bring in Sara Schreiner now with the sports report. So welcome, Sara.
Thanks, guys.
Let's hear the latest on Quinnipiac sports.
Okay, Quinnipiac's baseball team swept St. Peter's during their series within the last week. The first game was 5-2, the second 9-2, and the third 9-3, giving the men a victory that added to their 9-game winning streak in their current 15-17 season overall. The streak was the third longest active winning streak in all of Division I baseball this season. The Bobcats fell to Hartford 5-3 in the first game of their series yesterday. The QU men's lacrosse team lost the crucial MAC game to Siena College last Saturday here at QU. The final score of the game was 18-12, giving Siena the first place in the MAC regular season title. Siena was first on the board with a goal by Richie Hurley. QU responded a minute later with a goal from Matt Deal. By the end of the first quarter, QU was up 6-2. Siena tied it up during the second quarter, 9-9, and scored the only 3 goals in the third quarter, giving them a 12-9 lead. The Saints secured the win in the fourth quarter with 6 goals to the Bobcats' 3 goals. Quinnipiac's playoff fate falls in the results of next week's league games. The Quinnipiac softball team was swept by America's East first place Stony Brook Seawolves, losing by scores of 4-2 and 8-3. The team made a comeback against Monmouth on Sunday. The first game in this series ended with a 14-4 loss, but the Bobcats made a comeback in the next game, winning the game 6-5. That does it for sports. For more on Quinnipiac sports throughout the week, follow us on Facebook and on Twitter at Q30 Sports.
Thank you very much, Sara. And that'll do it for this edition of the Q30 Newscast. This happens to be our last show of the year. And before we sign off, I would just like to give a proper send-off to my co-anchor, Michele Herman.
Thank you.
Who will be graduating, I did say the G word, but graduating very, very shortly. And Michele has been a key figure here in the Q30 organization for the past 4 years, from her role as secretary to anchoring and reporting, and we are definitely going to miss you.
Thank you, that's sweet. Stay updated all summer with us by following us on Facebook and Twitter at Q30 News and by visiting our website at q30television.com. We'll be back in the fall with the latest. Unfortunately, I will not, but thank you for watching and thank you for a great semester.
Have a good night and have a happy summer.